talk about that in the news. But all right, let's go ahead. It starts in 3, 2, 1. All right, welcome to Media Gab. We're talking about our favorite games and videos and movies and all that kind of stuff that all of us like to do with our oodles of free time, right, Mark?
Yeah, oodles and oodle. Outside of my 14-hour days.
So it's me, Nato. We've got Kitus here. How's it going, Kitus?
Good.
Mark gets down there in that manly cave that he's got going on.
You know it, man. So, living the high life in my 1860s draperies.
And Manel chilling in the RV somewhere in parts unknown. Where are you now?
We are in Palestine, Texas.
Oh.
So we're making our way west to Arizona for the winter.
Nice. All right, so we all pitched in this week and looked up some stuff to talk about. We're going to be talking about our favorite games, stuff we've been playing, stuff we've been watching. We'll start with the news segment.
It's the news.
So the elephant in the room, the thing everyone's talking about is Cyberpunk. I don't know how much you guys saw on the Cyberpunk stuff, but it is a mess right now.
Yeah, you can't really go on anything without seeing something on it. So, in all my free time, I have a chance to read much other than how bad it is after all these years, which is unfortunate because it was supposed to be like this great game. So you're
the big Witcher fan right now. You still playing Witcher?
Well, I finished the storyline and I haven't gone back in after finishing the storyline. So
see, in that game was a train wreck when it came out too. It was a complete mess when it came out.
Yeah, that's what
they went and fix it. I mean, Cyberpunk will be a great game.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's just a mess right now. Kitus, I know you had it. Did you play it at all?
I have, yeah. I've played it. It's kind of, positives and negatives. I love the world so far. I actually love the characters. I think the characters have a ton of personality. The voice acting is fantastic. I really enjoy all the characters in it. So that's pulling me in. Unfortunately, the gameplay hasn't been that great. Like, I'm supposed to be able to hack stuff or shoot stuff, and it's been kind of clunky. And to get out of a couple battles, I ended up just pulling out the sword and just hacking and just smashing the left mouse button. And that's how I finally survived the battle.
So how much of that do you think is poorly designed gameplay and how much of it is buggy, do you think?
Well, I was on a harder setting. But when the game launches, it asks you, what setting do you want to play it at?
Right.
Easy, normal, or hard. And the description for hard was like, well, if you play games a lot, this will be a little more of a challenge, which sounded right. And I ended up going back to normal because I had to fight out of the same room like a dozen times.
Yeah.
So I had it and I
want
played
some challenge and I want story.
Right.
Yeah.
I had it and I played for about 2 hours and then it was getting such bad press. I'm like, I just don't want to get to a critical point in the game and wonder, okay, can I not do this because it's a bug? Like, well, you don't have the key to go through this door. Okay. Is that a bug or is it? Because it was so bad. It's so bad that Sony pulled it from their store without the blessing of Project Red. Like, it wasn't like they got together and said, hey, guys, what do we do about this? We'll go ahead and pull it from the store until we patch or fix it or whatever. Sony's just like, no, okay, pull it out of the store right now. And anyone who asks for a refund, give it to them. And then we'll take it up with Project Red. So it was kind of a big PR deal between the two of them. So I returned it. I had only played for, like I said, 90 minutes, 2 hours. So I was still within the Steam window and I'll play it when they get it fixed. I think maybe in the spring or something, but,
maybe price will come down a little too, eh?
No, it'll still be $60 or $70.
For a while. For a while it will be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
and then they got sales.
Let's see, you guys were talking about, you'd also mentioned that the Expanse has come out. So you guys have been watching the Expanse. I've been trying to get caught up on it.
I haven't had a chance to start the new season. Kitus, you said you got an episode in already?
I did. I guess they launched with 3 episodes. They've done this before. It's still a weekly release, so kind of like Mandalorian or other shows. There's still some hype, or you're waiting for the next show, which is fun instead of just dumping it all at once. But it's kind of cool they dropped 3 episodes. But I've read all the books that are out so far, so I really know the full story, and I'm excited for this season because the characters go different directions, so you get to follow stories, different threads, which we haven't really had for a season yet. This is season 5 for Amazon, season 5 for the show. It was Sci-Fi, now it's Amazon, and they correspond to a book per season. And actually, the news that I saw a couple weeks ago is that next season is the last for the planned last for the Expanse. So season 6 will be the end of the show.
Wow!
But there are 9 books, which is kind of strange. But the creator said that the plan was always 6, that they're just really happy that they were picked up by Amazon, and they always had a story for 6 TV seasons. So it doesn't sound like it's a negative in any way.
That's cool.
So
have you watched any of it, Manel?
I started watching a little bit of it, but in the RV with the close confines that such it is, you have to find something that both people like.
Right.
So you're always playing this fine line of, you gonna watch this? Nope, I'm gonna go into that bedroom. So you got to be careful.
It's a pretty good show. I mean, I have to admit, it was very watchable. I remember, like, way back when it first came out, I went into, I think maybe into 3 episodes, and then I kind of dropped off of it. And then I remember Kaitis talking about it, and I went and I watched it, completely forgetting that I'd seen it before. And I'm like, man, this looks familiar. So, and going through some,
I remember that,
but just really got tied back into it. So I haven't, again, same kind of situation. I got to find time to watch it.
Yeah, I watched like the first season, and then I think that was right around the time I started binge watching Game of Thrones because I'd never seen it. And then I fell off, and then I went back and watched an episode this week, and I was trying to recall what had happened so far. But anyway, it's exciting that season is out.
Yeah.
For people
that.
The
other great thing, you mentioned Game of Thrones. Obviously, most people aren't really happy with how it ended, right? Because HBO, the screenwriters were different from George R. R. Martin. So they kind of went their own direction with a lot of it, and some of it needed to be done for television purposes. But what's cool about The Expanse is that the show writers are the authors themselves. Like, the book is actually written by 2 people. It's 2 guys, and they go by a pen name. And so that's actually why the books have come out so quickly. It's kind of nice when you have 2 authors on a book series that you like, because you get a book almost every year.
Right.
But the 2 guys who wrote the books are writing it. They're writing the show, so you're going to get what they want, right?
That's
right.
Cool.
Bad ending or whatever. So.
Well, also with Game of Thrones, didn't they exceed? They went past the book.
Past the books, yeah.
So it's like they followed the books, and it's like now we're in Greenfield. So.
Well, they also ran out of material because he hasn't written anymore. Right?
I mean,
he hasn't released anything like that.
I've been saying for years he's going to die before he ever finishes that series. And to be honest,
he's too rich and he's got no motivation. Yeah. Like, why?
So, it's unfortunate because that was a really good book series. So,
which I've never read.
I'm honestly of the opinion on Game of Thrones, you could just read the first 3 books and stop, because like book 3 is like a perfect ending.
Yeah.
And it feels like closure. And people who have asked me if they should read it, I'm like, read 3 of them and then stop, because after there, it's just off the rails. The story just goes 10 different directions to 3 different continents to different people, and I honestly think he can't bring them back together. I think he's written this like so far spider-webbed out that there's no way to do this. And that's what HBO had to do to finish the show.
Yep.
And so what they did, also blame the original creator.
Yeah.
Cool. So the big thing I think that we're all super excited about was all this stuff Disney dropped on us last week.
Heck yeah. Who's not?
Yeah. And especially it was cool that they had left out the piece that we got at the end of the season finale of Mandalorian.
Yeah, thank God we watched it together, or all of us turned it off during the credits.
Yeah, I want to make a plug for 2.7. That was pretty easy to set up and worked pretty flawlessly from a lot of different technological situations that we're in. So that was pretty
Yeah.
cool that we
Yeah,
could
it's a
stop
cool way
and
to
start
watch
the thing
Shows together.
Yeah, that
Mhm.
anybody could stop and start it because
and see everybody's
And
reaction
it's
to what
just
was
called
going on.
2.7. Was that the name of the service?
I think it
again?
was.
2.7
I think it's just 2.7, 2.7.net or
Mhm.
2.7.com. For us, the only minor glitch was that we had to have at least one of us. We found out had to have the person who set up the channel or the chat had to have the subscription to Disney Plus. But YouTube, Netflix, Hulu, all that stuff works without any of that stuff. So
Yeah.
that was pretty
That's
cool.
cool.
There
Yeah, it
was some
great. In fact,
speculation.
I paused it. I remember when I paused it at one
Yeah,
point.
you
they
were the-
like,
you
were the
"Did
one who
you do
paused
it.
that?" And I'm like,
Oh,
Pause.
so funny.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
right.
There was some speculation I saw early in the week that the Book of Boba Fett might just be continuing the Mandalorian. Like this Mandalorian series might turn into Boba Fett's story, because calling it, quotes, the Book of Boba Fett, how everything had been chapters up to this point. But they clarified this week that it's going to be like a mini series.
Oh wow.
So maybe like 3 or 4 full-length episodes. And I guess Filoni said that all these spin-offs, they're going to all tie together in the same timeline. So the Ahsoka spin-off, what's the one with the pilots? Is it Rogue Squadron?
Well, that's going to be a movie. Rogue Squadron is going to be a movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there wasn't there
with-
something with pilots or
Well, Rogue Squadron is pilots.
right.
The series that I am excited for is Andor, right? That's Cassian.
Right.
From Rogue One, which is one
Right.
of my favorite new movies.
Right. He's a
I
great
think that's
actor
gonna be
too.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And he's cool. And there's a lot you can do there that's not just Jedi and lightsabers.
And see, I
Although
think
they're
they might
cool.
even be trying to tie all that stuff together. Like supposedly he has this like whatever on Disney Plus as a series or a mini series is all gonna reference each other, and so you might see Mando show up on an episode of Ahsoka. Like, did you guys watch when they had all those really bad DC series?
Yeah, the Arrow.
The Arrow and
Arrowverse.
all, and they would, and what was the something of tomorrow?
They weren't all really bad.
Yeah,
I
okay.
like
They were good. We enjoyed
Yeah.
them.
Okay, those really good series they had out on the DC universe.
No,
But
they
you know how
all
they kept
wandered
showing
off.
up? They all kept showing up in each other's episodes, and then there was an episode of, what was the one where they were like a super team or whatever?
They would do an annual crossover, and it would go through all the shows.
Yeah. But there was
in fact,
one
there was
show
one
that
this
was
last
about like a
season.
team.
Oh yeah, Legends of Tomorrow.
Legends
was
of
a team.
Tomorrow, right? And so like all of them would conglomerate in there,
Yeah.
right? Instead of just Arrow showing up on whatever, Punisher. Was Punisher in there?
No.
That's
Punisher
Marvel.
was
right?
Daredevil. Yeah.
That's Marvel.
Yeah, which is too bad those were stopped. Those were great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the other thing about the Star Wars stuff is, I mean, they announced they have 10 series in the works, right?
Right.
And just a couple of
It's
years ago,
massive.
people were like Star Wars fatigue, right? With the movies, they're like, too much, right? And now suddenly we're there with the shows because Mando's good. And
Well,
so-
Favreau and Filoni are pretty much responsible now for saving the Star Wars franchise, if you ask me.
Agreed. Yeah.
I mean, because
Right.
Mandalorian, like any episode of Mandalorian was better than any of the postquels or whatever the episodes. What are they? 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah.
Just the writing, the character acting. I mean, the end of the series. I am so not concerned about the CGI with Luke's face at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. that didn't
Like, I
bother
mean,
me.
what are you going to do? You got two choices, right? You can either get an actor that's not Luke, right? Or you can do some kind of CGI. And that was better than doing a full 3D model to me.
Yeah.
Like
Did you guys ever see that guy that looks just like a young Mark Hamill?
Yeah, and they're all calling for him. Like, it's all over Reddit. People are screaming for him to be the.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
But it makes me think that Luke's.
Yeah.
It makes me think that the character of Luke may not even show up in these post series.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Or just briefly. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you certainly can't do full-length episodes with deepfake.
No.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
he comes in and gets the kid and takes off in his X-Wing. Okay, we're still getting over the fact that we saw that glove and the lightsaber that I've had sitting over there on my shelf for a year.
Yeah. The video that I sent you guys of 21 Jump Street or whatever, I thought was hilarious when he's like freaking out. This is not happening. Like that was that's totally everybody's thought while that was going on. But yeah, for the movies, I'm excited for Rogue Squadron. I mean, Patty Jenkins with the Wonder Woman movies has been fantastic.
Yeah.
And
See, I didn't see the latest.
Trailer, she said that she grew up. Yeah, well, there was a teaser. I watched a couple of teaser trailers just in kind of show prep, and Patty Jenkins grew up like an Air Force brat. Like her dad was a fighter pilot.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know the story. She said before my father lost his life for this country. So I don't know how if he died and however he died. But she said I grew up loving two things, and like one of them was fighters, and she's always wanted to make a movie about fighter pilots. She said, and then she said now I get to
Wow.
So it actually got me really pumped for it. I think it's gonna be cool.
That is.
And then Taika Waititi, right, making one, and they haven't even said what that's about. But his episode of Mando last season was like one of the highlights, right?
Oh man!
When
they both walk into the bar, you see the two helmets.
Oh yeah.
Or the two stormtroopers, like just shooting the shit on the bikes, right?
Yeah. That's cool.
You sure that thing's still alive? You just want to see it, or whatever. It was all great.
Yeah. All right, cool. Let's go. Let's move on to talk about what we're playing here. Oh, here we go. All right. Well, that's not working. So let's just talk about what are you playing?
I think we all played a good amount of Warframe for a little bit.
Here we go.
There we go.
I didn't rent that movie.
No, it's the wrong one. Episode 1. All right, one more time. That one might be out of the library. So yeah, Warframe. I haven't played as much as you guys. I didn't realize how far behind I was till I went to do I went and got to the last planet junction or whatever, and I had to do like 4 missions to get there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I think the crazy thing about Warframe is, like, honestly, not when we first started, it was just button mashing, and I was getting bored with it quick. And then I stumbled across the open world on Earth, which completely changes it. It's, you're doing these quests. It's almost like old Lotro, where you go and talk to somebody and they say, you got to go do this. So you go do it and you come back. Now you got to go do this.
Yeah.
So it's a little more, definitely more engaged than what Lotro was, because you can do a lot of different ways. And then, then you get the, Scott, what's the wing called?
Yeah, so I finally got that, the Archwing.
The flying thing, yeah.
And I did the first flying mission, so I was flying around.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
And I've been itching to try the ones that Kitus did, where you're on this ship and you can either go jump out and fly around on your Archwing and attack stuff, or you can jump behind a gun battery and
or you can pilot the ship.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So you've got that, and there's like this whole side investigation with the glass and stuff that's constantly going on, and it's and there's even some of the button smashing missions, actually, when you're getting deeper into the story, like to get the Archwing.
Right.
One of those was actually pretty cool. I mean, there was more to it. It's a little more complex than just running through and killing stuff, with learning that you can jump off walls and some of the other stuff to get through some more complex mazes and things like that. So it's beginning to expand the envelope of what the game is. And I think that's becoming more and more of a draw to play it.
Well, this is kind of one of those cool things where you kind of discover an overlooked treasure, like something you haven't played before. And then you have the benefit of years of development, and all of the kinks are worked out of it. They've listened to the community and implemented all kinds of community input into the game, because it's hugely community driven, right? Because the game is free.
Yeah.
Until you go drop $50 in the freaking store. That disappeared in like 5 minutes.
Require 50. Like when I did like the dog, or I got another Warframe, I think I spent like 10 or 20, right? Compared to some other games that are quote unquote free, but
and you don't have to do any of that.
No,
you can run around until you get the resources.
I have to get a new dropship.
And then
it's been a nice surprise.
And then it being an older game too, it's going to run on virtually any rig that anybody has right now. So because we're primarily PC.
Great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's great.
Yeah, I mean that's been fun. That to me is one of those games that I just enjoy because we're playing it together. I probably would never play it on my own. But because we're playing it together, and I started forcing myself to play with a controller. So I really enjoy doing that sometimes, like having a game where I can just lean back in my gaming chair and play with a controller instead of being perched over my keyboard. Yeah. So enjoying that.
I can honestly say it's not as much fun when you play it by yourself. So like Lotro is really not a lot of fun to play by yourself.
Yeah. Agreed.
It wasn't, I should say wasn't. So
it's okay for short, just pop in a session though, right? Like if you are going to play solo, you can go and do a couple of runs and they're like, oh, that was fun.
Yeah. And because the runs are quick. So like getting the Archwing, I did all the Archwing quests by myself because they were 15 minutes a pop, maybe. So they didn't take long.
And I did them in a hurry because I thought we were all trying to catch up.
Yeah.
And then we didn't play for a while. So
yeah,
but that's fine. I'm caught up if we do it. Manel, you haven't really played anything, have you?
Yep, not really, because internet's very limited. But the one game that I always go to is on my phone. It's called Retro Bowl. It's a retro football game. It's like set out of the 80s.
Nice.
You can just sit, you can play a game in like a whole game in like 15, 20 minutes. And you're like, it's got the whole series, the whole season. It's got recruiting. It's got draft.
It's not the one with the three red dashes that go up and down, up and down.
A little bit better than the Atari 2600 football. Yeah. But you can pick linebackers. I mean, you got a full draft. So I've been playing that for probably a couple years now. I think I've been a head coach for 45 years, according to that thing. So,
what's the name of it?
It's called Retro Bowl.
And you just got that out of the Apple Game Store, right?
Yeah, it was recommended. I thought, you know what? I don't watch a lot of NFL, but I watch college football. Right. I just need something to keep me busy. I need 15 minutes from time to time. You're like, and I just go to this and I'll say, okay, where am I? I'm in season this. Oh, I'm in week 4. Okay, who am I playing? All right, this is their defense. This is their offense. Okay, let me go play a game.
Oh, that's cool.
So if you get bored and you're looking for just a really simple, fun football game that does carry over, so it's not just one season. You can carry a franchise player for like 10 years until he retires, but you still got to worry with the salary cap and everything else. So when his contract comes up, he wants more money, so you got to balance your salary.
That's actually starting to sound kind of stressful.
Yeah.
But that's what actually makes it fun, because once you master the game mechanics, I play it on ultra hard, then it comes down to, you look forward to actually having to go through the draft. It's like, who am I going to have to cut this year? Oh, this guy's been through 4 Super Bowls. I got to cut him.
Yeah, ultra hard must be, you got a lot of prima donnas on your team, so you got to deal with that, and everybody wants twice what they're worth.
And Mark, you mentioned a game that actually made me download something today. But you mentioned that you'd have been playing one of the Lego franchises.
Yeah, Lego Hobbit. I got a 6-7-year-old. So we when we do game, it's like Minecraft or any one of the Lego franchises that I have. And one of the ones we got into actually open. I don't even know how old it is, but we just opened the plastic. So it had never been opened before I started playing it with him. And I'm on an Xbox 360, just to tell you how old the gaming rig is.
All right.
And,
when I saw that, I was like, I went and looked up some game footage that we could play during the show. And I saw them like, those games look fun, and I've never tried one. So I went and got Lego Lord of the Rings. It was $5.
Yeah.
It was $5.
Yeah, they're dirt cheap. They're age appropriate for a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
And but what's cool about the Hobbit one is it's got voice clips from the actual movie. So as you're going through these different things, you're getting even what was his name? Zog. What was the orc's name? The big white orc.
I don't remember.
Yeah, but anyway, when he talks, when the Lego orc talks to his Lego guys, that voice is there. So, and it's like all the character voices from the actual movie are all in there. So
that's cool.
That's kind of cool. So, and it's it uses the Lego style of solving puzzles as you go through, and you do combat, but there's a lot of like building stuff, and it's more complex as far as the Lego games go. I think the Hobbit is the most complex one we've played with all the interactions that you have to do. But
yeah, I'm looking at some footage of it right now, and it's actually, it's a Lego game, but it's gorgeous. I mean, the graphics are beautiful.
It has to be pretty recent compared to a lot of them if it's got Hobbit movie footage.
And I'm hearing rave reviews about the one that's coming out, the new Star Wars one that's coming out, the Skywalker saga. And some of the screenshots for it are pretty cool. So
I'll have to check that
well,
one.
I played all the Lego Star Wars back in the day with my kids, right?
Yeah, that's
around,
what we're playing too. We've already finished. We already
finished.
finished the Star Wars Legos. So we actually haven't finished episodes 1 through 3, but we finished the 4, 5, and 6 series.
And then wasn't there like the Batman Lego ones too, with like Batman and Robin? And
yeah, we got about
fun.
Yeah, we finished the Batman one. So
just the animation and the humor they incorporate into those things is pretty cool. Like I only played that game for about 30 minutes today, but I was literally laughing to myself.
Yeah, one of the things I love is like when you die, you're like this explosion of
Lego pieces go everywhere. And it's so not a big deal to die, at least in the one I'm playing. You're just the Legos fly everywhere and then you pop back in right there.
Yeah.
So
well, unless you're trying to fill the stud line at the top. So, and it depends on like it's like Jedi, if on the Star Wars ones, and I can't remember what the Batman one says. The Indiana Jones one it just says studs, and you're trying to get that full because then you get like you'll either get a gold Lego or you'll get this piece that you're trying to put together. So
yeah, I remember they had a big Easter egg hunt was part of it. You want to find all the hidden stuff. And sometimes you didn't have an ability. You had to go back to previous levels because now you could jump higher or you could open something you couldn't.
Oh, that's cool.
Because you can, when you go in free play, there's like a lot of things like when you first go through Batman doesn't have the suit that has the bomb. So you go through the first level and he doesn't have the bomb, and there's several stuff in the first level. You need the bomb to blow up so you can get to what's behind it. So then you go into free play and you go in with the Batman suit that has the bomb, and then you blow that stuff up and get what's in. So,
cool. Yeah. So if you're a completionist kind of thing, there's a lot to do in there.
Yeah, heck yeah.
And
my 7-year-old is into that.
And Kitus, you've been playing basically Warframe and Cyberpunk. Anything else in the last couple of days?
I realized I had forgot to put down my card game. My go-to card game is Legends of Runeterra. I was a Hearthstone fanatic for years, and I switched over to Runeterra, which is by Riot in the League of Legends universe kind of thing.
Right.
And it's great. It's a lot more strategic. Hearthstone is really just back and forth. I take my turn, you take your turn. I take my turn, you take your turn.
Right.
Whereas Runeterra is more like Magic. You can literally interrupt somebody else's spell or play something in reaction to what they're doing.
Okay.
So there's a lot more strategy, and just a lot more interaction in it. And it's actually feel like it's more skill. Like if you're good, you can pull out a win many times when you didn't think you can. And now my son Benjamin is home from college, and so he's been picking it up and playing it too. So between the two of us, we've been playing a lot of decks and stuff. He's just playing on my account, which is also getting me up higher, which is nice because he's good at it.
I was gonna say, I wish we could all have a little Benjamin to get us further along there.
No kidding.
The problem is he's getting me up into the higher ranks, and now I'm playing like really good people.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh man, I keep dying. He's like, sorry, I got us up to the high ranks. But it's a great game, and it's very generous. After playing Hearthstone and having to spend a lot of money, if you just want to play a casual card game on your iPad, or PC or I prefer iPad. It's just great with coffee in the morning. It's very free to play friendly. You just do your daily quests kind of thing, and they're generous. You don't have to spend a lot of money on it. And I have a full set practically, and I've spent very little on it. So yeah, it's a great game.
That's cool. Yeah, so obviously I've been playing Warframe, a few minutes of the Lego game that I was just talking about. I still love playing Breakpoint. I jump in there once in a while.
Yeah.
I love playing without the HUD and really having to look around, like having to. I've done a couple missions too with the new AI teammates.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like Wildlands had.
Yeah, and that's fun because they work really good with the sync shot, and it doesn't completely feel like you're alone, but it's a completely different game in that mode where you can't see where the enemies are until you actually spot them. I've been playing with the detection meter off, so you don't even know if you've been spotted until something starts shooting at you. So that's been a bunch of fun. And then I got back into, in fact, Steam reports that I have a total of 66 hours in this game. But I just forgot what an amazing game it is. That's the Middle-earth Shadows of War.
Oh, yeah. And
it's just got so many cool features in it. And the way they layer it to how you level. So the idea behind it is, like the story behind it is you're a ranger and you've been fused with the spirit of the guy who forged the rings. This guy named Celebrimbor. So his spirit is like fused inside of you. So during some of the cutscenes, like he'll come out of your body and you're having a conversation with this spirit. And because he's inside of you, you got all these cool abilities. Like you can virtually jump from any height. He's got this neat sort of spectral hammer that you use. But the gameplay is just insane. And they layer it so that it's really like the combat's not very complicated at first. You learn how to jump, you learn how to block, you learn how to attack. And then as you level, it adds all these different abilities that you have to where it gets complicated, but it doesn't feel that way because you've mastered everything up to that point. And there's just all these really cool abilities. And then the personalities of these like bosses that show up periodically, you can either go hunt the bosses down or they'll just show up when you're walking through a camp and they spot you. They all look different. They all have a different voice. They all threaten you in a different way. They all have different moves. If they kill you and you run into them again, they'll actually taunt you about the first time they killed you.
And is it open world? Is it like Witcher? So you have a storyline, but you can also wander?
There's a storyline, but it's totally open world. So what's really cool is you can just do a 15-minute, I'm just going to jump in and go like hunt down one of the artifacts or just whack a bunch of orcs or you can run to the next part of the story and see that.
Can't you also build like an army?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't want to give away plots in case I can't recommend this game highly enough. I
want to play this. It sounds great.
It may be in the top. I don't want to say it's my favorite game of all time because we've been playing games since, third grade, but it's up there. And it's got me sucked in again. I can't wait to play it again tomorrow.
Are you playing controller?
I've been playing with controller. The first time I played with it's very easy to play with a controller, and there's a slight aim assistance when you shoot your bow.
Yeah.
So I was a little more accurate with, with the mouse shooting the bow, but it's fine with the controller and all the basic combats and movement and everything's pretty nice with the controller. But
when I looked at the video, it looked like the combat would be good for a controller, kind of like Valhalla, right? Controller, you get into it. Yeah.
So you build an army and then, and you actually, again, I don't want to give too much away, but you build the army and then you start taking down fortresses with your army. But then there's all these, on top of all that, there's all these insanely cool, environmental things that can happen. You'll see a bunch of orcs standing next to barrels of grog and you shoot the arrow into the grog and they all blow up and catch on fire and they're running in circles. Or they'll have or those gigantic sort of ogre things that were in the movies. The really big
Cave
bad.
trolls.
So there might be one of those in a cage, and you're like standing up way up high on a building and looking down, and there's one in the cage, and you shoot the door off the cage, and the thing comes out and starts bashing the crap out of all the orcs.
Ah, that's cool. Yeah.
And you can actually subdue those things. Like you can subdue a warg. You can let wargs out of their cage. If you beat up the wargs, you can subdue them and ride them around. And the warg will bite people. You can jump on the back of the ogre. Eventually there's like drakes and stuff you can ride. And it's cool. I mean, it's just, I can't recommend it highly enough. I played the one that came before that first, which was a really good game, but this one just took it to a whole other level.
I asked my son because I thought my son had played these, and he played the previous one. He said he hadn't played this one.
Yeah.
And he really liked the previous one. He thought that one was great.
Oh, and I forgot to mention, you can get it free on the Microsoft Game Pass.
Oh man, I got it then. Done.
Yeah. So if you got the Microsoft Game Pass, it's free.
I'm mark that right now.
Are you hungry? Cat wants to eat.
Dandy little.
It's a cool cat. He's like he
All right.
by himself.
All right, let's go into stuff that we are watching.
I didn't rent that movie.
There we go.
Okay, so I'll start. I haven't been watching a whole ton because I've been playing so many games.
Yeah.
But I am starting the Lord of the Rings series because I've been playing this game. It's got me all amped up about kind of digging back into that. Yeah. And of course, I've watched
those again with my daughter at the cabin. It was great.
And I've watched every episode of Mandalorian at least twice.
Yeah.
Some of them watched 3 times, but I'm trying to get back into Expanse like you guys were talking about.
Yeah.
I'm trying to watch the Expanse and get caught up on that so I can talk about that with you guys. And then Julie watched the whole series of Peaky Blinders without me.
Oh yeah. It's a great show.
Yeah, so I might pick that up.
It's just a great timepiece as well, just to see like 1920s London and gangsterism. It's fantastic.
I mean, now you admit, yeah.
Down you go.
But
now you mentioned you were watching Longmire.
Yes. So we tend to, like I said, we've got one primary TV. So when you watch something, you try to find something we both enjoy. So we tend to gravitate towards either a Western style or some type of police or cop show. And Longmire is fascinating. It's based on the books, a whole series of books, and it is great. It's kind of, you think of you almost want to cross, Wyatt Earp with today. The sheriff, the county sheriff, wears that long trench style coat. His primary rifle is a lever gun. It's just like this guy. He's a sheriff, and it's got Katie Sackhoff in it.
That's right.
He's like the code
That's
star.
right.
So,
Well, wait, and is the sheriff the guy who was the sheriff in Mandalorian? Wait,
No, I don't think he was in any episode of
in
that.
another series.
But Julie, we watched it all the way through a few years ago, and I loved it. I watched the whole series. I loved it.
So we're two episodes away from finishing it, and Vicky's
Yeah.
like, I want to go back and watch it again next year because she really likes it.
Yeah, my only gripe with it was too short.
When did it finish? How many seasons?
Oh, that's a good question.
6 seasons.
How many?
Seasons.
6.
Was it 6 seasons? Did I watch that much?
Yeah, I don't know when the timeline is on it, when it ends, or when the last. I can take a look too. Longmire.
Yeah, 6 seasons. And it looked like it ended, season 6 ended in 2017.
But if you like good twists, and what's nice about it is it goes back to, it's not like it's more like, it's a combination of, some episodes are like NCIS where they got a dead body, they go solve the mystery, and some of them carry from a couple episodes of just sheer drama, so they don't hold up to just standalone. But it's a good series. I'm really enjoying it. And
really interesting. I totally forgot Katie Sackhoff was in that.
And she's awesome in it.
Yeah.
A lot of the other actors and actresses, other than Lou Diamond Phillips, who's just amazing.
Yeah, I may have to go back and watch it again. Interesting. I didn't realize this. The star is Robert Taylor, and he's Australian.
Oh, he is so good.
So here's another guy who can pull off like a Midwest, almost
Wiggly
Southern
Down
twang. Yeah,
So
really
yeah,
good.
I was thinking of Timothy Oliphant, right, who was just in Mandalorian. He was in Justified. I don't know if you're looking for another.
Oh, I heard
cowboy
that's
show.
good too.
No, that's Justified.
Yeah.
That might be your next one.
I think we're moving to Yellowstone next. I heard
Oh,
that was
okay.
good with Kevin Costner. I heard that. Well.
Yeah, I've heard good things about that too.
Huh.
That's
yeah, Justified looks like it had 4 or 5 seasons.
and Longmire was a Netflix series, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And you can still go binge watch it. But it's a great show. They did a really good job.
Did you guys ever check out Westworld? Since we're on the topic of Western.
I did.
I did, and I loved it until I can't remember what season, and it started to get so hard to follow.
Yeah.
It
I
got
think
so
that's where I
weird
dropped
and hard to follow, and I'm like, no.
Well, the new season was basically like Cyberpunk. Now that you mention it, right?
Yeah.
The latest season was good, but it's a totally different show now than it was. But still good. I mean, we loved it. We enjoyed it.
So I need to pick that back up.
Yeah, I might
no,
too.
definitely.
Because I was
The
completely
current
engulfed in that. I was really caught up in the story, and then I was like, what is going on?
I'm in that.
Yeah.
It's like what book was that? Like 7, 8, and 9 of A Wheel of Time. It's like you get into that quagmire of those 3 books, and you're just like, my God, how many times is he going to tell me what this guy looks like? And
Yeah. Wheel of Time is a series I've wanted to try to start, and I just haven't. You know?
it's just like it's either 6, 7, 8 or 7, 8, 9. I can't remember what the 3 books are, but like you could literally not read those, you won't miss a thing. You will. There's like nothing in those three books that you have to read to still completely understand the story.
So
And
go from book 6 to book 10.
yeah, it's basically what it is. It's a great book. I love the books. I read them all, and you're like me, so you're going to read those 3 anyway. And when you get done, you're going to be like, yeah, I probably should have just not even read those. But it's that is a good book series.
And then you two guys give us a brief. The two of you mentioned that you were watching Lovecraft County. Is it county or country?
Country.
Okay.
So yeah, it's
So how many episodes in are you, Alman? Did you finish it? Or how many episodes?
No, I didn't finish it. I think I'm only like 4 or 5 episodes in. I can't remember.
Okay, so I have a question then.
Well, what is it?
Lovecraft,
What is the
so it's
premise of
4.
that? I've never even heard of it. I'm off the HBO
Well, I mean,
radar.
Lovecraft is anytime you hear about like Cthulhu or horror, interdimensional monsters, you know,
Right.
those kinds of settings, which is great for a show and for
Right.
HBO.
Yeah.
But then Lovecraft Country is set in like racist what decade America? 60s? 70s?
1950s,
Okay.
1950s, 60s, right? Yeah, 60s. Yeah, late
And
50s.
it's black characters dealing
Yeah.
with that on top of like the monster stuff. So it really is wild. But we watched 2 episodes, and the second episode felt like it could have been the end of the show. Like there was like this closure, right? When they were at the mansion in the house and he found out who his like ancestry was. I'm not doing any spoilers.
Yeah.
So if you went through 5, like does it pick up again, or does it get changed, or what does it do?
It changes a little bit. It keeps going. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's this society.
Okay, so you're saying
thing
keep
still-
going.
Yeah.
Because
there's
I've
this
heard great
society that's-
recommendations, and I started it because other people have told me how great it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It definitely keeps going.
Well, and to you guys who don't know it, I'm trying not to talk, you know, in confusing ways and non-spoilers, and you're getting nothing from it. But it starts out as kind of like a road trip kind of show, right?
Yeah.
And even my son said, he was like, I was in, like it was a road trip, and they can go all over the country and find monsters and solve mysteries, and he was like all ready for that, and then it wasn't that, really wasn't that.
Yeah.
Because they were like writing the almanac, like for Black people to travel safely around the country or something.
But see, they still they run into those things. So they run into these things.
Okay, all right. So there's still the almanac is still part of the story.
Did you see like where they go to that place where the cops are like really racist in like Massachusetts.
Oh yeah, like you got to be out of here by sundown, or we're going to arrest you, type of thing.
So,
and they
yeah,
followed
so-
them to the county line, and they were by a minute, or whatever, getting out of the county by sundown or whatever.
Did
yeah.
you watch past that, right?
Yeah, where they were at the house and stuff.
Yeah.
The mansion and things
So
like that.
it keeps going. It keeps going. The story keeps building, and it gets
I'll keep going then.
And actually, the last episode I was on threw such a freaking curveball. I was like, "Oh my god, I have to watch the next episode," and I haven't gotten back to it yet. So,
But obviously, you're recommending that.
yeah,
Some people could.
It's wild. Well,
could get into-
and it's wild. And the people who told me to see it, they were like, "I've never seen anything like it on TV," and that's what they were so impressed with. They were like, "This is unbelievable," and it's just so different.
And the crazy thing is, it like really takes the whole. It's what's the word I want to say? It's like it's current. It's something that you need to see, and it really goes. Because it's not just the sci-fi side of what you're watching, the horror sci-fi side. It really addresses a lot of the racial issues from the 1950s. It's the 1950s, and how bad it really was for some people. I mean,
it's very timely. I mean, it's great.
It's. I mean, there's times in there where you're like, man, I can't believe people actually behave that way, but they did. This isn't like it's reflective of the way it was back then. So,
Jeez.
And it's done tastefully. It's not done.
But that's HBO, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. It's HBO.
But we could do a watch night because I have the HBO. So and so did
yeah. Let's think about it. 2/7
first episode. That'd be fun. Totally.
Yeah, we could set that up.
And then I'm watching Queen's Gambit. Finally, I know Renell, you were a big fan.
So I heard that was good too. I don't have enough time to watch all this stuff.
Yeah.
Other people told us to watch it. Well, what's cool about Queen's Gambit? It's like 6 or 7 episodes and it's done. Right? It's not like a series. It's just like a mini series. And yeah, it's fantastic. It is so good.
And where are you watching? That's a Netflix thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Queen's
Netflix.
Gambit is Netflix.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that Mandalorian would be my top 2 for 2020.
Really?
Gambit
Okay.
and,
So that's moving to the top of the
Nato,
list.
For sure. See Gambit.
Okay.
For sure.
Right.
See Gambit. Yeah.
Kate would probably like that, so I'll give that one a try. I'll definitely give one a
And
try.
you could tell Julie that it was the girl. The girl was from Peaky Blinders. She was in the most recent season of Peaky Blinders.
Sold.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this.
We would like it.
Oh boy, it's gonna be the best day ever.
All right. So, I mean, for us, what are we waiting on? Let's go with games first because all we're gonna do is talk about Star Wars after that.
Well, I'll go first. I've got with Christmas coming. We usually get some family board games and stuff. So I have a couple board games on deck that we just wrapped tonight.
Oh, cool.
I've got Marvel Champions is a card game, a living card game that they put out expansions and stuff for that I'm really excited to play. The reviews for it are very positive. Like you literally play, it's co-op, it's single player or up to 4 players co-op against like villains. And you play like as Spider-Man, like you have a deck where I guess you're Spider-Man or you're, Thor or you're Captain America or whoever. So it's not a deck builder, which so many games are now. We admit that we're a little burnt out on. Like you get the deck and you play that deck. So I'm excited to play that. I think that's going to be fun. I can report back on that. And then there was a new release of Gloomhaven this year.
Oh, wow.
Gloomhaven was so huge and so complex and so heavy and so many pieces that they actually came out with a new version that is kind of like Gloomhaven Light. You still learn the rules. You still it's literally described as more casual version of Gloomhaven. It's a simplified rule set.
Don't throw the game away when you're done.
Yeah. And it's got pre-made maps. I guess part of Gloomhaven was you built the maps with tiles and stuff. So you got pre-made maps, which speeds it up. And there are some. You go through like a campaign, and it eases you into. Then you know how to play the full game.
Yeah, I was able to
I'm
play
excited.
one session of Gloomhaven. So
Yeah.
and we never
think
get
it's-
the group back
I think
together.
it's literally too heavy. Like it's just, and it's got it, and it takes so long. You got to leave it set up somewhere, the original Gloomhaven, and make sessions and blah blah blah. So I'm excited to try this light version. It's got a really good rating on Board Game Geek. It's got an 8.9, which for that site is high. They're honest and brutal about games. So it's currently number 14 on like the best of list, and Gloomhaven the original is number 1. On there.
Wow.
So Gloomhaven is a hardcore game, but for more casual play, if you're not with people who are totally into it, I think this one's going to be good. So I'm psyched to try it.
Gloomhaven is actually pretty cool the way the cards work and everything else. So it's not a bad game. It's just
well, there's a reason it's number 1, right?
Yeah. It is.
Well, we're gonna have to try the Steam version when it comes out, right? We'll be able to play together on Steam. So
heck yeah.
I'll also know
it comes out on Steam. Absolutely. Like and since we're on the topic, I'm going to share, but one of the cool things about Gloomhaven is your character can actually retire, and you can pick up a new character like halfway through the game. So, it's every character has this like sub quest that they're on. So like, you're trying to find, the Ark of the Covenant. That's your thing that you're after. And you just need to find this thing. And when you do, you're done. And you get your retirement papers, and that's it. And that character retires. And then, you pick up a new character in town, and that character now moves forward with the group. But it's leveled the same as the rest of the other characters. So it's not like you pick up brand new level 1. If you were like level, 5 or 6, and you'll get like a level 5 or 6 that you can move forward with. So it's well thought out. Cool. Very complex, but well thought out. And my cat jumped in the fireplace.
We had to put a screen in front of our fireplace.
What about you, Manel? Anything that you're looking forward to, game-wise, movie-wise, series-wise?
Not too much. I don't really follow it. I listen for what you guys tell me to take a look at. I know Kaitis is always saying, you got to check this out. You got to check this out.
Yeah, that's where I am.
Yeah, I don't follow the boards and follow the news too closely. We're always waiting for updated versions of Hannah. I don't know if you ever watched the Amazon Prime Hannah.
Yeah.
Hannah, Bosch. We're always Vicky can't wait for new episodes of those to come out. And just board games. I know I picked up one called Warfighter. It's a military combat with strategy, and it's a card-based game with it's big. It takes like Warfighter. It takes about almost a half hour for setup, but it's a lot of fun. It's a single player. It's better at single player, but it's a fun game. It's set in World War II, and you get missions, objectives, and you actually deal the cards out with your guy's equipment. So you pick your main character. I'm going to have him with a rifle. I'm going to have him with a couple grenades, and you build your squad out, and then you just play through this mission. And at each point, what does the land look like? How many enemies are on that? And it's pretty cool. But it takes a lot of real estate in the RV. I look forward to playing it, but it takes up a lot of real estate.
Right.
That's very Gloomhaven-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when you pull out
the wazoo. So
yeah, that's cool.
And it's very hard to find the game. If you go out and look, you might be able to find it on eBay. I had to call 2 or 3 different places to see if they could find it. And one guy, he said, I don't see it online, but let me call a distributor and see if I can find it. He goes, I found one in the back room, and I had it shipped to Kaitis. So it was there, and it was in the second edition. But yeah, they're always sold out. It was a Kickstarter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
And so the second editions have been sold out. They're waiting for a new print for the third.
Nice. Wow. Yeah, I don't really,
Kickstarter. Go ahead. I'll find it. Go ahead.
This whole Cyberpunk thing has got me like not really wanting to look forward to games on release,
Yeah.
So like, honestly, I look forward to playing that game when it's fixed. We're all excited about the future of Star Wars, but I'm not like on the edge of my seat for that either. It's I just know there's all this cool stuff coming in the future. So I'll enjoy it as it comes, but I'm actually just looking forward to the rest of this break and just like playing a bunch of games and
Yeah, we have so much good stuff between great games
Yeah.
and great
Yeah.
shows and movies. And Wonder Woman, right?
Yeah.
2 days, right? Christmas Day, we got Wonder Woman 1984.
So what have
We're
they
set for
decided
that.
now? Are you going to have to go to a theater to watch that, or are they doing some kind
No,
of?
it's on HBO. It's on
Oh,
HBO.
okay.
Max.
So I may
Yeah,
do
you
a.
could go to a theater. It will be in theaters.
I might do a
Yeah,
1
crazy
month
enough to go to a theater
sub.
right now.
I might do a 1 month sub to HBO and watch that and Lovecraft.
Yeah, and then you'd have Westworld. There's a lot of good stuff on HBO
Yeah.
that if you had a short period of time that you could kind of burn.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, but we were just talking about Gloomhaven, and you mentioned Kickstarter. It reminded me of the follow-up to Gloomhaven is going to be called Frosthaven. And they finished their Kickstarter campaign. Their goal was to make $500,000.
Why did the
guess
Gloomhaven
how much,
guys
guess how
need
much they
Kickstarter?
made? I know, right?
Probably like
Um,
5
Guess how much
million.
they made? What?
5 million.
Higher. So a $500,000 goal.
Gee.
The pledges totaled $13 million.
Wow.
And this is the
Look
guys.
it up, you can see the
We need to do a
box. You can see
Kickstarter.
the- right.
Dang, man. It's like
Somebody
It's
fund
like-
$1 million.
We got one
Dude,
person. We got one person watching this right now. Maybe they could write us a check for 13 million.
yeah, there you go.
Get her
It's
Kickstarter.
crazy. They didn't need a Kickstarter. Their first product was perfect, and they
Drop a
had to
super
have
chat
it
for
after
13
the
million
movie.
in the YouTube chat.
Hey,
Let's do.
So yeah.
A lot of people have time off for the holidays. Well, a lot of
Good for
people
you.
do.
I
Or
did.
or the holidays are a time where they they can kind of break away whenever to play some games or watch some shows. So let's go around the table and everybody make a recommendation of a game and a show. If somebody wanted to kind of dive into something for a few days over the break. Go ahead, Kitus, you start.
I would say for a show, I was originally gonna say I had something else, but I thought about it some more, and I've got to go with something light and funny and heartful. So I ended up going with Ted Lasso. If
Okay.
you haven't seen Ted Lasso, it is a wonderful show, and it's sort of anti-2020 in that it is earnest and heartfelt and funny. And there's not really anything negative about it, but it's still a great show. It's not like sappy or anything.
Is that the one about the
So-
coach you were telling me about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Soccer coach. Well, U.S. football coach who goes over to be a soccer coach.
Okay.
and knows nothing about soccer.
And
So,
where is it? Where do you catch that? Netflix?
That is on Apple TV.
Oh, okay. So what do you have to buy it by episode?
No, sorry. The Apple TV Plus or whatever their service is called.
Okay.
The Apple TV actual service. So if you watch like Morning Show or any of the Apple TV shows, Ted Lasso is one of the shows.
Okay.
So that's the only kicker. You got to have Apple TV Plus.
Okay.
But a great show. And I know I got Manel to watch it, and they ended up binging. And did you watch it twice? Did you watch the whole series twice?
No, I watched the first 3 or 4 episodes twice, but then we watched it all once through.
Yeah,
It's a great
yeah.
show. It's almost it's a good family show too. I mean, there's
Yeah.
a few swearing moments, but
Yeah.
actually it's a good, like I kind of said, it's a good, warm, heartfelt show. It's encouraging, it's uplifting. At the end of the show, you feel good about yourself. So
Yeah.
Oh, I'm watching that.
Which we need in 2020.
yeah.
We do.
yeah,
And what about a game, Kitus?
For games, I would say, if you haven't tried No Man's Sky, again, that's sort of an anti-2020 kind of game. It's very chill. It's exploration.
Right.
It's building, and there's no pressure in it. You don't feel pressure to you do whatever you want in there, kind of thing. And that's
You got to
kinda
hop
liberating.
online and help me with that one because I'm stuck like right at the beginning.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what to do next, and I get frustrated every time I go in. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing this.
It's a little overwhelming at first. Once you get used to a couple of the systems, then it's like smooth
Okay.
sailing. So, yeah.
Cool.
So that was me.
So, Manel, you got a couple recommendations?
not really much on from a game perspective. Like I said, I'm usually lagging behind, but I like Ted Lasso. I think that's a really good one. But other than Queen's Gambit, I can never. I push that one as much as I can. It's so good.
What about a game you've played recently that you would recommend someone sink some time into if they had some time.
Well, like I said, I like that retro bowl game. I downloaded an older one of the close combats, and I'm about 10 hours into it, and I'm about ready to delete it. I'm very disappointed with it. The series I've been playing since the mid '90s, and I've always just kind of liked it. But this last one, they just failed on it miserably, and they didn't change anything. It looks like the '90s yet. So I'm going to uninstall that one, and I'm going to go look for another one. So I think there's another one out there similar called Blitzkrieg. I did like those two.
Okay, cool. Mark?
So I think because of 2020, I'm going to say The Boys. And the reason why it's
great.
It's like in your face chaos, and you know I can't give it away, but I want to give it away.
Kind of the opposite of Ted Lasso, but not in a bad way.
Yeah, and it's just, you know, it's got a progressive story. It's got some twists in it that get kind of cool, and
one of the best bad guys ever, like Homelander.
Homelander,
hate him, and it's like hating him. He's so good.
Yeah, he's so hateable,
wow.
and he's so evil. I mean, this is like Antichrist evil. So it's just and the good guys are not superheroes.
It's a fun hate.
Yeah, it's a fun hate.
Cool.
So because he's spot on with like everything. So
do you think they're going to extend
in a game?
It's still going, and the game, I actually, thanks to Kaitis, I have to say Hades. And the reason why I like it,
I forgot about Hades,
is because I am so locked into this like ridiculous work schedule because of all the COVID and the vaccines and stuff being in healthcare, that like I'm working 13 to 14 hour days on the regular, including some weekends. So when I get like an hour where I don't have a meeting during the day and I just want to like, you know, just diffuse, I can just jump on Hades. And
that's good to know.
I'm not
Hades
like
is shut your brain off, just fun play for a 20-minute burst. Like it's awesome.
Okay,
absolutely, and that's
good to know. That might be a go-to for me too.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to check
and
that
it's
out.
real easy to learn, so you pick it up quick. It is a little bit of button mashing, but the dialogues are hilarious.
But it rewards skill. It rewards skill though.
Yeah, because there's the combos. You get into the combos, and it's definitely controller compatible. So.
Oh, absolutely. You play with controller now for sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Right. Keyboard and mouse.
Okay. That's going on the top of my list. Well, I'm going to recommend a pairing. So I haven't played a lot of it, but if you're already playing Valhalla, I'm going to recommend two pairings. If you're already playing Valhalla and you have not seen it, one of the best series I've ever seen that I absolutely loved was Vikings.
I remember you saying
Vikings is insanely good. And as I played the first couple hours, and I really liked Valhalla, it's just I only have so much time to, you know, so I'm kind of going where I'm being sucked right now, and I got sucked back into Mordor. So I'm going to play that. I'm going to play that probably until I'm sick of it. But I do really like Valhalla so far. The feel of it, the animation, everything just feels like a fantastic game that you could really get lost in. But they're actually talking about some characters at the beginning of that game that are in Vikings. And these are historical figures like Ragnar Lothbrok and his brothers and stuff like that. But Vikings is insanely good. And then, of course, if you like The Lord of the Rings and you want to revisit it, I recommend a viewing of the first three movies paired with Shadows of War, because that game is just so good, man. It's just so good.
I gotta play that. That's my list after this one.
It's just so good.
I think since I'm kind of done with The Witcher, I may move to Shadows of War.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Well, let's do briefly this.
What you doing?
And just talk about what we all have kind of going on briefly. Then we'll say Merry Christmas and wrap it.
So Kaitis, you can start. Sounds like you're working again. So
Yeah, just kind of picked up some development work, diving into web development. It's new and exciting. JavaScript, new skills, new libraries, new tools. So yeah, it's been fun. Then I actually started trying to learn drums. Seemed like I was stuck in the house. picked up an electronic drum set, and that's been fun to screw around with. You can play along to songs. There's a lot of tutorials online. It's been fun. So
cool.
Ways to stay sane.
Go ahead, Mark.
So, as you guys know, I'm in healthcare. So right now, the big thing is vaccines, and I got sucked into being the project manager for the deployment of vaccine to 40,000 employees. So it's literally 14-hour days, 6 a.m. to 7 o'clock at night, and I know that's only 13 hours, but but it's like constant, and I get calls at night, and it's been mildly overwhelming. And we're finally delivering the vaccines to employees, and there's a light at the end of the tunnel, so that's really cool.
My wife got hers today.
Really,
got her
awesome.
first installment today. Yeah,
good. Pfizer or Moderna?
So if she doesn't grow antennas or develop palsy,
yeah,
palsy. Was it Pfizer or Moderna?
The Pfizer. She got the Pfizer.
Yeah, we just got
got
Moderna in yesterday. Awesome. So 3 weeks, man, she'll be good to go.
Yeah,
that's good news. That's great news, Nato.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at probably another 4 weeks, and I'll be in for mine. So if that long,
good.
Probably
Well,
less than that.
On behalf of the United States of America and all concerned citizens, let me thank you for your service.
Heck yeah.
Genuinely.
Yeah, it's been, honestly, it was rewarding that first, seeing these first 5. We did 5 people off right out of the gate, and the big media storm and everything else, like everybody else did. And to be honest, it was pretty rewarding to know that I had a significant contribution to that success. So
that's awesome.
It's it's pretty cool.
Kudos. Manel?
Well, what's going on?
Saving any lives there in the RV?
Yeah, well, keeping my life safe.
Follow that, buddy.
Yeah. If the shitstorm really hits, or the stuff really hits the fan, I'm in the perfect vehicle for it.
Yes, you are.
So now we're just slowly making our way west, and we'll hang out in the Arizona desert for a long time, and we'll hang out with our people with the same type of motor coach that we have, and we'll sit in our own little bubble amongst them. And what do I do for time? I work on the RV. These things are like a boat. They're always breaking down. So my mechanical skills are always in need. Tore the door on the RV apart today because there was a bad rattle going down the road. Drove me nuts, and the wife didn't care. So I had the music cranked wide open because I couldn't handle the rattle, so the door came apart today.
Oh, geez, what was it? What was it?
There was the locking mechanism. For whatever reason, there was a copper piece that was just rattling. So as the RV would vibrate, it would just rattle. And I kept telling Vicky, pull on the door. She'd pull on it, nothing. And so I'm like, I was looking for metal to metal, and I finally found it. And it's like, son of a gun. So I was packing it in there with grease and stuff. And I put some electrical tape around another piece that was rattling. So, oh my God.
Jesus.
Those are a lot of maintenance. But you know what? You got to be handy. And you know what?
Yeah.
It keeps me busy. Being retired, you got to have something to do. I couldn't imagine. I don't know what I would do if I didn't have the RV to work on, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'd play games, but without high-speed internet, I'm limited on that too. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or watch, as you can see, the TV behind me.
No.
That's about it. That's not going to do much for my health.
For me, I'm on break right now. Adjusting to life without the schnoodle. That's a little strange.
Yeah.
Had our dog for 15 years, and she's
Yeah.
not around anymore. And just making some decisions about kind of the future and stuff like that. I'm definitely going to keep teaching, but not 100% sure how involved I'm going to be in coaching next year. Just thinking through that right now. So.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2020 is a good time for changes and reflection. So
Yeah.
gotta adapt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, for that one person who stopped by, thanks. Make sure you tell all your friends to watch the recording this week and
A bunch
get
of
all
old
of
guys
our
talking about video
highly
games.
intellectual thoughts on all these subjects. But Do or Die will be here next week. So Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Merry